And Reggie the Rabbit leading Reece Wesser out in game number 200. Made his debut way back in 1998 for Penrith before joining the Rabbitohs, playing 177 matches for the Panthers. So big day. Congratulations to Reece Wesser. But it's also a big day for a couple of other bunnies as well.
Yeah, well, Luke Capewell here named at number 6. It was only his second NRL game, or his third NRL game this year, a couple off the bench. So it's been a tough, frustrating year for him. Limited opportunities. The back line have been playing very, very well for the Bunnies, and there have been very few injuries. So, look, we know he's played a lot of wing and fullback, not at 5'8", and I think he'll play there most of the day. But, of course, there's been speculation Nathan Merritt will come in at 5'8" as well. Chris Sando earlier in the week said that he'd like to see him in there at 5'8" too, so that could happen. Nathan Merritt way up there in the try-scoring list. I think 98 now for the Bunnies, so or 98 the NRL.
98 career tries, so he's only 2 away.
Which
is not a bad strike rate when you've played 156 games.
And a wonderful milestone to get 100 tries. It doesn't happen. It's very rare.
Here come the Melbourne Storm. Of course, it's been a horror year for the club. Cameron Smith leads the team out onto AAMI Park, this wonderful rugby league venue. Not the biggest crowd the Storm has had this season, that's for sure. But they are always vocal here in Melbourne. And of course, Greg Inglis is not the only player to be leaving Melbourne at the end of the year.
This big fella, Brett White, is, yeah, just 4 games to go in Melbourne colours for Brett White. Very high work rate he has for the Storm, and the more responsibility again today with Jeff Lima and Adam Blair both out, and that means yeah, he's got to lift his work rate or get stuck right in from the get-go. Does Brett White, New South Wales and Australian representative, and he is joining the Canberra Raiders next year, and he's got well over 100 first-grade games to his credit, so a wealth of experience he's taking with him. Cam Smith.
We do have a minute's silence here today, though, Gary. As Cam Smith waits with Steve Tedro Lyons, our main referee. There's Greg Inglis. Trooper Jason Brown was tragically killed while serving his country overseas in the last 48 hours. And he was a South Sydney member number 45587. A real big South Sydney fan was Trooper Jason Brown. Our thoughts are with him and his family, and also his serving mates, as we have a minute's silence for him this afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and you'll notice both teams also wearing black armbands for Trooper Brown, and also the Bunnies for the grandfather of Luke Capewell, David Kaufman, who passed away in Charleville early this week. There's Steve Tedro Lyons, one of our referees, along with Chris James this afternoon. And so I'm sure the Bunnies would love to get a victory up here today for Trooper Brown, member number 45587 of South Sydney. We're underway. The Bunnies defending the southern end of AAMI Park will get first use of the football this afternoon, and it's Roy Azatazi who brings it back towards the 20-metre line. Capewell going in there to acting half. Here comes Isaac Luke now. I just thought for a moment we may have been seeing a subtle change there by John Lang. Here's Jamin Lowe, who at the start of the year was playing in the Queensland Cup. Now back playing at South Sydney. Of course, his brother Ben out for the season with injury, suffering a season-ending broken foot at training. Here's Azatazi towards the halfway line, just shy of that mark. And no frills about this first set here from South Sydney, as Chris Sando gets boot to ball, and Billy Slater takes it on the fly away from Sando, away from Burgess, now linking up on the outside with Matt Duffy. And South Sydney not showing anything in that first set, just trying to get to the kick, and Chris Sando will now know, if he didn't already, that it's always danger if you find Billy Slater on the foot.
It was a difficult one for Chris Sando to hit the ground, because they had the back three were back for Melbourne, and they really had all the ground covered. But yeah, you don't want to hit Billy on the full too often, and judging by the spring in Billy Slater's step early, it'll be dangerous if they keep doing that. This bloke too, Greg Inglis, nice run first up.
Well, they caught Roy Azatazi there on the blind side, one-on-one with Greg Inglis, and he got some help from Nathan Merritt. Now it's the last tackle. Cooper Cronk under pressure from Isaac Luke. Just gets his kick away. And Fatuli Talanoa has the ball 30 metres out from his own line. He's still inching his way up towards the 40. Kevin Proctor, one of the players involved. Here's Capewell taking the line on and upended there by Cooper Cronk. Chase Stanley in there as well. Wesser around the legs. Ryan Hinchcliffe, 5 short of halfway. Here is Azatazi over the halfway line into Melbourne territory with the football for the first time this afternoon, Souths. As Luke goes to acting half, here's Jamin Lowe. Hinchcliffe around the legs again. Last tackle. Sando into the corner. Back there looking for it. Nielsen under pressure. That's a better kick from the Bunnies. And the Melbourne Storm will have to work it out from their own end.
Yeah, clever kick. Very nicely placed there by Chris Sandow. On the back of some very good go forward as well for the Bunnies. Better in the second set of the football with the football than their first. Well and truly into the Storm half of the field, and he managed to get a nice kick away. So important against Melbourne that you don't give them cheap metres. You don't give them free metres with bad go forward or ordinary kicks.
Here's Cooper Cronk looking for a 40-20. Reece Wesser's got to get there. Oh, it just missed. Just missed. Grant Atkins, the touch judge, wants it to be checked by the video referee. But I think from our position here, Gary Belcher, that was just outside the 20.
Oh, definitely short, that one. And Reece Wesser will agree. He seemed to amble across like he knew it wasn't
initially.
Go. He did. Yeah,
it's a game of inches, Garrett.
He sped up a bit towards the end there, but he just didn't quite get his angle right. It looked really good off the boot, didn't it? That one from Cooper Cronk, but yeah, Reece, look at him cruising. The old stager, he knows that was never going to quite make it. You'd breathe a sigh of relief for that too, though.
The Melbourne Storm changing their forwards then, working out who was going to defend rather than who was going to attack. Speaking of attacking, what about this young bloke? Second game in, Dylan Farrell marking Greg Inglis. The sad thing is, the second game is only going to be worse than your first. There's no way he's going to score 4 tries today.
Well, I don't think he'd be expecting that either. He just want to get through and have a good game, a solid game against the world's best centre in Greg Inglis. He's going to have his work cut out defensively today, and Inglis, of course, no slouch when he's tackling. So it'll be a tough one for him today.
Burgess plays it. Now here is Isaac Luke Azatazi. Arguably his best game in South Sydney colours last week. A little bit of volleyball there from Chris Sando, and Souths are going backwards on the last tackle. Sando will run it this time. Here's a chance. Farrell down the touchline. Merritt. Smith to beat. He doesn't have the pace. Inside Capewell. Capewell for the corner. And Luke Capewell. What a story that is. The young man playing just his 3rd game. He went back to Queensland, back to Charleville for the funeral of his grandfather, and he scores the first try of the afternoon. Well done, young man, Luke Capewell. And what about the try from South Sydney?
Came from nothing. They were going nowhere. A ball that actually bounced past to Dylan Farrell, drew his man beautifully to give it to Merritt. Merritt always knew he had the speed to beat Cam Smith. And Capewell looked up. I reckon he looked up hoping it wasn't Billy Slater that was going to chase him to the corner, and backed himself against Cooper Cronk's cover defence. Good speed there from Merritt. Great hands from the Bunnies. Luke Capewell into the corner. Great backing up. He's playing left side today, so he's come a long way from his side of the field to score in the right corner. Super try from the Bunnies. It looked like they were going to get caught on 5th tackle. Nothing happening.
Well, they got forced back on tackle 4 about 15 metres. Sando was under pressure and decided to run it. And the bounce of the ball was lucky for him in front of Farrell into the hands of Nathan Merritt, and he can run.
I thought that for a moment it was a Greg Inglis intercept coming, and he really kept his eyes on the inside player.
Here is Sando from the touchline. Just the start that South Sydney were after the high of last week's win over the Tigers. That was not the best kick of the season for Chris Sando, but they do lead by 4 points to 0. as we head down to the touchline. Matt Adamson.
Yeah, well, if South Sydney are going to be a dominant force here today, this is the style of football they've got to play. They've got to throw their hand. Early in the set of 6 in these first 2 sets, they've played around the ruck, and that's just playing to their hands, this Melbourne Storm. There's no team better in the comp at controlling that ruck better than Melbourne. As soon as they've shifted the ball, and that's the first time they've done it in the game, they've come up with 4 points.
I don't think they were ready to shift the ball that early in this game. That came about by necessity. They were going backwards on 4th tackle and just looking desperately to get somewhere on the last. Found Melbourne Storm a man short on their left side defence.
Tyrrell. Now Isaac Luke away from Hinchcliffe. Sando. Here they go again. South Sydney. Pettybourne. Not the best of passes. Merritt managed to stop and pick it up. They lost all momentum there, South Sydney. Pettybourne with the dummy. Not fallen for by Melbourne at all. Proctor there to make the tackle. 12 short of halfway. Here's Azatazi towards that mark now. Just a couple shy of it. Last tackle for Souths. Cameron Smith being called offside after going early. Here's the kick from Sando. Hand from Slater. Went backwards, says the referee. That pass was very close to being forward there. Very close to Matt Duffy.
He did well just to get a hand of that kick on the full, Billy Slater, and slow it down. It was another beauty from Chris Sando.
Offload coming from Dane Nielsen as they keep it alive here in Melbourne. This is very sloppy. Inglis hit by Farrell. Second tackle, they're going backwards. This was Nielsen before it was Chase Stanley. He's now playing at right centre. Hoffman.
Someone needs to get them going forward again, Melbourne.
Here's Brett White taking it up.
Last one, no penalties.
Cooper Cronk will be looking for 40-20. Fatuli Talanoa's gone back. Chance to run it as well if they want. Little chip over the top, just had too much on it. Matt Duffy almost got there. The idea was right because Fatuli Talanoa had gone back early.
That's the kind of set of 6 you watch on your first session back at training during the week and go, that is ugly and we can't do that again. Too many of those today. They're going to hand the ball back into South to the Rabbitohs in great field position. They went nowhere with the footy, no go forward, and then a kick that almost went out on the full.
Heads in, Billy. Ball. Put in, Chris. Out.
Chance for Souths. Here's Colin Best. Brett Finch, one of the defenders. Ryan Hoffman, the other. Neither will be here next year. The 2 involved again in that tackle.
There's such a temptation for the Bunnies to hit the ball early to the edges. They're up and in defence. Their centres, Inglis on one side of the field, Nielsen on the other. They're up and in, and they just leave so much space on the outside. The trick is, can you get it there? That's the difficult part.
Burgess. Flung to ground. Now here is Sando. Now Farrell with the kick. Too much on it. 20-metre restart.
They're having a go on that right side, aren't they? Quite prepared to throw it on the right side there. Back themselves, the Bunnies. Not a bad option, just a little bit too much weight on that kick.
Good defence there from Jamin Lowen. Whereas Atazi forcing Brett White back. Here's Proctor, just up to the 30. Smith. He thought about unleashing the ball there to Billy Slater, but just held on to it. Hinchcliffe now throwing the dummy through the tackle of Azatazi. Pettybourne there to tidy up. Here's Finch. Meters. Cooper Cronk. They must score. Here's Billy Slater. Slater is over. The try for the Melbourne Storm, and Billy Slater moves to within 1 of the club record. That is the Melbourne Storm we know.
Just came from nowhere. In fact, the alarm bells were probably ringing in the coach's box, Johnny Lang, for the Rabbitohs when he saw Smith get easy metres, when he saw Hinchcliffe get easy metres, and then Brett Finch running back in behind the ruck for an inside ball to Cooper Cronk. It was just too simple for the Melbourne Storm. The Bunnies ran out of defenders in that middle of the park, and they're going to have to patch that one up. Beautiful play back up the inside. Billy could sense as soon as Brett Finch took off, he was making his way quickly towards that area of the park as he could sniff that there was a try on. That's a training run for the Melbourne Storm. What a simple play for them.
And they haven't been down this end of the field at all. Melbourne with the ball in the game so far.
The last set of 6 was terrible. And that one, they weren't going too far, but suddenly Cam Smith, off the back of a quick play the ball, found some metres forward, and they were gone. Bunnies, they've got to patch up the middle of the park or tighten up in there before they worry about the edges.
Is to put Melbourne in front, and Billy Slater now has 112 tries for the Melbourne Storm. Matt Geyer has 113. Will that record be equal today as Cameron Smith adds the extra 2? It is Melbourne leading by 6 points to 4 down to the touchline. Matt Adamson.
Oh, what an outstanding play by the Melbourne Storm. We look here at Coach Cameron. It's Brett Finch off the ruck. He goes back to the other side where the Melbourne Storm always have a player lurking. Cooper Cronk to find the ever-ready Billy Slater there. King Billy. I've already said it once this year, I'll say it again. There is no better player in our game than Billy Slater as the rain starts to come down here at this great stadium.
Good stuff. Hope you don't have an umbrella either.
That camera gives you a wonderful view of just how much space there was between defenders for the Bunnies there. At the moment that Brett Finch got the football there, he could sense that he had them in all sorts of trouble.
Tolman, 25 out from his own line. And the drizzle continues to fall, making the playing surface a little bit slippery. It's beautifully grassed. It's a wonderful stadium. I've seen a couple of players just slipping a little bit with the light drizzle, making a sheen on the surface as Hinchcliffe picks up some metres. Rather gloomy now. Smith kicking. Now goes back to Reece Wesser. Looks up and just sees Storm jerseys in front of him.
Held it.
Talanoa. Inglis involved in the tackle. It's been interesting to see how easily or how tough it is for South to get out of their own end. Burgess linking there with Luke, and chance for Chris Sando there if he'd come up, but he finally gets the football. Pettybourne running there at Nielsen, who makes the tackle. It's like South Sydney only have eyes to the right today. So far, Azatazi, Colin Best and Filatuli Talanoa over this side, barely touched it. Has someone fallen asleep there? No, they're finally off him to allow Azatazi to play the ball. Last tackle as Sando gets a kick away, and Duffy has it back on his own goal line and puts Billy Slater under pressure, who got away from Chris Sando, who comes back to where it was passed, links up here with Chase Stanley. He puts the foot down out of the tackle of Tyrrell, but couldn't get away from Capewell. And Billy Slater monstered by Jamin Lowe.
Couldn't get away from that tackle, Billy. Managed to wiggle his way out of an attempt by Chris Sando earlier. But the Bunnies, yeah, they are going to the right quite often. It's working for them. They're getting good metres there. But I think it's probably a lot to do with the fact that Chris Sando plays, or is playing, first receiver on the right as well. And he's more likely to get the football at this early stage of the match than Luke Capewell, whose first game at 5'8" for the Bunnies.
Here's a chance for the Storm. They've created numbers. Proctor, he's got Cooper Cronk with him, stepping out of the tackle of Capewell, but can't get away from Tyrrell. Luke Capewell very slow to his feet in back play. Now here's Cooper Cronk, Finch. They're on a roll here, Melbourne. Last tackle, Sando tidies up. A few of the South Sydney players.
Forward, change over, out 10.
So knock on by Sando, but the first mistake by South Sydney. I was about to say, a few of these Bunnies players, hands on hips and hands on heads coming back. And it's the players that haven't played much first grade this year. Jamin Lowe, who's playing just his third game. Luke Capewell, who's playing just his third.
They'd be feeling it. And they've got Mick Crocker on the bench as well, who's only, I think, played 4 games this year.
This is his 4th, and there's a penalty. First of the day.
Not you. I told him to move. I wasn't there. He's not making any effort, mate. Need a bit more effort.
They've certainly picked up the speed, the tempo, the Melbourne Storm, when they've got football in hand. It's going to make it difficult for the Rabbitohs if they can't make good, solid contact in the play, in their tackles, and get numbers in the tackle and slow them down. Melbourne will really make it difficult for them.
Just up towards the 30. South Sydney, they trail by 2. Here's Tyrrell. Luke is in there at acting half, and Sando's to the right. They go that way with Azatazi. He runs at Hinchcliffe, and some support comes in from Tolman and White. And Cam Smith's the 4th man in there to finish the tackle off. Still drizzling here in Melbourne. Gloomy afternoon as Sando tries to take on Cam Smith, who comes up with a terrific one-on-one ball and all tackle. Burgess kicking. Where's the chase? Here comes Best, and Duffy has to just tap it over the dead ball line.
Nice play, Sam Burgess. Playing a bit of 5'8" there. He was actually backing up on the inside. They're trying to get something go. This is the tackle before. This is a beautiful kick. But the tackle before, he was hanging on the inside of Chris Sando. They're trying to make something happen just on the right side of the ruck. In fact, he got a really good offload away about 5 minutes ago, Burgess. Back to Sando.
Looks like the rain's getting a bit heavier than a drizzle now. It's been forecast in Melbourne for the last couple of days and only really arrived today. The umbrellas are starting to go up, and that's what happens when you don't catch the ball on the full. Greg Inglis is away.
Melbourne, they all stopped, mate, okay? They all stopped when I blew the whistle.
But why did he blow the whistle?
Let's go.
Was there a Melbourne mistake in there as well? This is pretty ugly, isn't it? Oh, Roy tries to drag it in. Ball comes off the foot. No problem there. Play on.
Well, I think he might have been suggesting that Hoffman did get a hand to it.
Okay.
Let's go. Out. Back. Oh, your half back. There you go, Cuba.
So that's a knock on both
Go,
ways.
And in his defence for Tedre Lyons, South's defenders did drop off Greg Inglis when he did blow the whistle, so chances are they may have made the tackle. But here's Billy Slater chasing the club record. Can he get the bounce? Here's Merritt flying, and Nathan Merritt does very well.
Isn't that wonderful football all round? You can just see the kick coming from Cam Smith. Slater coming through, but not one player in the Rabbitohs could do anything about it apart from Nathan Merritt. The only one with the speed to beat Billy Slater to the football, and he does a great job. Melbourne, it's a great percentage play if you can get it right, because they've got the football coming back to them as well. It was second tackle, but worth having a go at when you've got a man like that with that sort of speed and anticipation chasing through.
Cooper Cronk on the full. Here's White. You can see how far the players slid there, Merritt and Slater. The rain is getting a bit heavier here in Melbourne. It's coming into the face of the Melbourne Storm. Just a slight breeze at South's back. It was gale force yesterday here in Melbourne as Sando bounces off Finch. Here's the kick chasing Nielsen, and Merritt has to tidy up again.
Well, it's those kind of conditions, isn't it? The kick is a really valuable tool if you can get it in the right spot. And in some ways, the less you have the football in hand, the less likely you are to make errors, because it's really coming down the rain now. Tried to get the hit on Finch there, Sando.
Cooper Cronk, 40 out, has it. Here's White. Straight there at Colin Best, who puts his body in the way and hangs on, gets some assistance from Dave Tyrrell. Proctor. Inside the 20 go Melbourne. They're about to make their first change. Brian Norrie is going to come on for Brett White. Now here's Finch, short ball, Hoffman, who dropped it and then kicks it into the arrow.
He dummied the long ball there, Finch, and I think it fooled Ryan Hoffman, and suddenly the football was in his hands. Really well read here, Brett Finch. He sees the defence staying out wide, and the short ball was on. Just can't hang on to it, his back rower. Oh, he was in the hole. That's what I was not happy about.
And by kicking the ball over the dead ball line, it means it's a 20-metre restart for South, as opposed to A scrum. Azatazi takes it. They have been under the pump south since they couldn't catch the ball from the goal line dropout. I was going to ask you earlier, it's Roy Azatazi was very slow to get to his feet there. And the trainer signalling that they need to interchange him. He's almost out on his feet, Roy Azatazi. There's Brett White coming off. He was the first interchange. Here's a chance. Capewell again. Now he kicks for Talanoa. He's kicked it too hard. Touch in goal, 20-metre restart.
Well, good play. Great hand short side play there from the Bunnies. Nice ball back inside. It was from Best. He got it to Capewell, and you saw it off the boot. Mark Braybrook just too big. Craig Bellamy screaming instructions about that. I imagine it's about being short on that right edge defence there, the Melbourne Storm. First time they've really come down this side, the Rabbitohs, almost with success.
Craig Stapleton is on for South for Azatazi to come from the field. I was going to ask you what toll it may have taken on South Sydney, their win last week on the Tigers and the way they won. Emotionally, it would have been very draining, I would think. Yes, they would have had a huge high on Saturday night after coming back, but very hard to come up after that win as Smith kicks and Wesser picks it up 5 out from his own line.
Well, that's the life of a professional footballer, a professional sportsman. You're going to be able to get back up a week later, no matter what the result is. And if you put it in other terms, if they'd lost in Golden Point against the Tigers, it could also be extremely draining because they gave so much in that game. Probably of more concern for the Bunnies is that they've got John Sutton out. They've got a couple of players missing that are critical to their performance, and they've got to learn to play without them.
Nathan Merritt, that ball was forward from Luke, surely. Yes, it was. We see so many of these nowadays, but we also see nowhere near enough pulled up.
They're fooling themselves. When you're an away team, I think it's worse as well. I've seen home teams get away with them because the crowd doesn't react too badly. So one last night, there was a shocker for the Titans. For that one, yeah, just going forward to Burgess. They're making it hard for themselves now, the Bunnies.
Finch. Now here is a chance. Great work, Stanley trying to get on the outside of Colin Best. He fell very awkwardly there. Chase Stanley, who's had a number of knee injuries, but he gets up holding his forearm. Shoulder area. He's not well, elbow. Something to do with that left arm anyway. Here's Finch. Now here's Slater. Inglis, can they stop him? No, they can't. He's over the line and got it down. Penalty to Melbourne.
Wait, it's before the line. It's not. He's not. He was short. Hang on. Oh, there he was short of the line. There you go.
Must have stripped it.
Well, he's trying to score. Did he have to be over the line for you to strip it?
Yeah, I thought he's trying to get there, but
I thought if someone's in the act of scoring the try, surely you're allowed to strip the ball.
Chase Stanley in the hands of the doctor, not looking well for Melbourne, who are only a metre out from the line. Here's Cooper Cronk, short ball to Hinchcliffe. Great shot, Isaac Luke. Tied it up by Tyrrell. Now Cam Smith, another tackle from Isaac Luke. Hinchcliffe, he dummies. Isaac Luke is there again. Can they hold him up? No. The referee says he got it down. The Melbourne Storm are in again. Ryan Hinchcliffe gets himself a try, the first of the season for him. A huge sigh of relief for Ryan Hinchcliffe, and Melbourne lead by 6, soon to be 8.
Well, they're double teaming out of dummy half. Smith and Hinchcliffe. It's happened a few times this afternoon where they've got great meters forward. This time Smith has a crack himself. Hinchcliffe throws a big dummy out to the left. Off he goes. He had a fair bit of work to do too once he got over there, but referee in perfect position. Rolled onto his back, keeps going. Oh, he's got it down somehow in between them. I reckon they'll be disappointed with that, the Bunnies, not only defending around that area, but also the fact they had him on his back. With defenders arriving, just couldn't stop him from scoring. It's a cheap one. They were on the back foot for the Bunnies from the time they made that mistake a few tackles ago, but it's a soft try.
Cameron Smith should have little trouble from right in front. Melbourne now lead by 12 points to 4. Mick Crocker is getting ready to come on for South Sydney. They need some strengthening from somewhere, the Bunnies, as we head down to the touchline. Matt Addison, some news on Chase Stanley.
Yeah, Chase Stanley just left the field. It's been reported that his left elbow has a medial ligament injury. There's a chance he will not be back. Gary Belcher spoke about the tightness of the South Sydney team. We spoke at the start of the game. They need to win this game to stay alive in the competition, and they're showing nothing.
They're a chance of being in the 8 if they win today. And Brisbane would drop out. All to play for. There is Crocker making his first tackle of the afternoon. In there with him is McPherson. As Mick Crocker spent many a good year down here in Melbourne.
Well, that'll be his main role, I think. Show a bit of mongrel out there, and hopefully his teammates will follow him defensively. Just got to really start putting the Melbourne Storm players on their backs, or over the sideline will do. Inglis there. By the heel, the football's gone over the sideline, and the Bunnies have got some field position for the first time in a long time.
It has been so long, hasn't it?
Warm up, boys. Nice and tight. Isaac. Kevin.
Well, even the try they scored, long range, hardly been.
Came from inside their half. Here's Wesser trying to catch some sliding defenders, slipping and sliding on this AAMI Park surface. The rain has stopped and the sun's out. Capewell. Here is Crocker. Coming there at Finch. Capewell. Now McPherson. All the way through the middle of the Melbourne Storm defence there. The Storm lead by 8. South Sydney haven't been down here with the football for so long, and Luke loses it. Norrie came up with a terrific tackle. Sandow tried to put a shot on Billy Slater, and he brings it out towards the 30.
He's tried to put a shot on a few players this afternoon, Chris Sandow, but he somehow got the arms wrapped around because they bounced off. Finch has done it, Slater a couple of times. They bounced off and kept going. I'm not questioning his bravery in those tackles, but you've just got to somehow get hold of the player as well, because it's not working for him. That's a costly mistake, wasn't it? Early tackle count, Isaac Luke. And they had a pretty good shape out to the right, the Bunnies.
Today pretty much is about South's attack against Melbourne's defence. South scored the most points in the NRL, and Melbourne have the second best defensive record. But at the moment, it's the Melbourne Storm that have the edge defensively, because Souths are really struggling to get any fluency. Here's a kick from Cronk. Reece Wesser has it covered. And a one-on-one steal attempt from Billy Slater. Did he win it? Chris James right above him saying South's ball.
I think Billy was asking the question whether he'd been successful. It was hard to tell who actually had the football. Reece Wesser did very well to hang on to it.
But surely it's not if the referee's standing above you saying South's ball, South's ball.
Telling you to get up there. Well, here's the chase here. Teammates stayed out of that one. They didn't want to put a hand on Reece Wesser, so Billy'd have a chance of getting it, but no, he never had it.
Jesse Bromwich has come on for Melbourne. Sando. Here's Capewell. Burgess. Sikamanu is on the field as well. One of the defenders. With Proctor and Norrie. Sando to McPherson. There's a mistake. Flat-footed stuff again from South. Colin Best throws their hands in the air. And the frustration is building here.
Their completions are getting ordinary now. The Rabbitohs, a bit of a push pass there. McPherson. He didn't need to throw that, and he wasn't ready for it, Isaac Luke. Flat-footed. I think that inside ball, turning the player back to the inside, is the play. Well, there it is, 10 from 14 now. the Bunnies, so it's not real bad, but it's the last 3 or 4 have been pretty ordinary.
Sycamano this time with a juggle. Luckily for Melbourne, he was able to regather. And here's Hoffman, just shy of the 30-metre line. Smith, Finch, Cronk, now Proctor, Sando with the tackle. Slater at acting half. Cooper Cronk, short ball, Sycamano couldn't pick it up off his toes. Just run out of room there, Melbourne. They're really under the pump. South's defence up very quickly, Sam Burgess in particular.
And they need more of that. They really need to get in their faces. Show some urgency about their defence there. The Rabbitohs. Plenty of puffing and panting around the scrum there. The pace of the game has been right up there. No doubt at all.
Head him, Billy. Head him.
Well, I was saying before, those going across field, turning players back inside or back underneath in the wet is a play that I think will work for the Bunnies, even if it means getting someone in between defenders and getting good go forward, because at the moment the Melbourne Storm have compressed their defence and they're getting 2 and 3, 4 players into the tackles and doing a pretty good job at stopping South get out of this territory.
Pettybourne will play it 10 short of the halfway line. And Stapleton is up to the halfway. Good run there from Stapleton, and Hoffman forcing him back a little bit. Crocker, Cam Smith, who makes the tackle over the top, and Hinchcliffe was around the legs. Jesse Bromwich in there as well. Now Sando will put the ball high. It's a wobbly old kick off the boot, and he did well, Dane Nelson. And now he's just dropped it. He ran around in circles and then dropped it. It was like it was a party game.
I was just going to give him a rap. What a good take.
Next thing all he had to do was hit the pinata, and we're away.
He hasn't got a blindfold on. But what's... Oh, no. That's going to...
Put some Benny Hill music.
That'll make his goof tape. You wouldn't feel real good about that one.
He'd done so well to take the ball.
That's like Benny Hill music go again. When here come the Bunnies. This is what they needed.
Sando hit the solid tackle. Luke, here's Burgess. And he's dropped the football under the pressure of 3 defenders. And an opportunity goes begging for South.
Well, let's go back to Dane Nielsen. It's slippery. It's pretty slippery. He tried to get it out of their hands. He couldn't. Burgess, an international, he lost it, hitting it up there. And Billy Slater just cleaning it up. He lost it pretty easy as well. So you see the referee actually saying, is there something wrong with his ball? It's slippery. Might have something to do with the rain.
Come up, heads in, Sam. Ball, mate.
Here's Nielsen. This time he hangs on to it. Bromwich. Finch pops it back to Inglis. Just shy of the 40-metre line. South will be desperate to make sure that Melbourne don't score again just before the break. 4.5 out from half-time. Now here's Cronk. Slater decides not to chase. I think Billy thought he may have been half a step in front, or the ball was too far away from him. I'm not calling Billy Slater offside ever again until a replay.
I know, he catches you out, doesn't he? It looked like he may have been half a step that time in front of the kicker.
They are very flat, disorganised, unenthusiastic here, South. Look, they're all just standing around looking at each other.
Yeah, I just think they're a bit tired too. They've really been on the back foot since probably the first 5 or so minutes when they scored their one and only try of the afternoon. And there's a lot of energy has been taken out of them by the Melbourne Storm.
Sando. And Slater with a nice bounce. 20 out from his own line. What a one-steal, Sando! Is this the turning point here for the Bunnies? Is this the inspiration they were after? Luke, now Capewell. Pettybourne running through, didn't pass to him. 10 away from the goal line. Will South score before half-time? Burgess, back to Sando. Now here's Crocker.
Screaming for numbers on the far side, the Melbourne Storm.
Sando, now McPherson, 5 metres away from the line. Luke out of acting half. Not the best of passes. Capewell under pressure. They're forcing them back here, Melbourne. Cam Smith with a tackle. It is the last here for Souths. Sando puts it high. Here comes Nathan Merritt. Nathan Merritt, did he get a hand to it? No. Picked up by Melbourne.
Goals. I'm going to check everything coming last tackle. I want to check the whole lot coming through, please, mate. Please.
Well, Nathan Merritt is not claiming a try. He's just seeing whether there was a knock-on from anyone.
He was onside. Quite sure he was on. I think he was about the only South player that was onside. The football went back deep into the hands of Chris Sando, and he ran around behind him here. Merritt, that's him chasing from a couple of metres to his left and behind. So no problem there. Better look at this on the head-on. Out of the hands of Billy Slater. Went backwards. Merritt, oh, he's lost it there. Desperate effort there from Brett Finch.
He had it and lost it, didn't he?
He did. Finch came into play. I'm not sure if he touched the football or Merritt's arm or something, but he just put him off. He might have got a hand to it there, Merritt.
He got a hand to it there. It's a knock-on in goal, 20-metre restart, I think. He's onside. All the other Souths players who are in front of the kicker stayed, although 15, McPherson, was he in front of the kicker? 20-metre restart anyway.
Well, unless he's got the first touch on it and it's a scrum, he might have knocked it on in the field of play.
I think it's a
Nathan Merritt.
It'll be a 20-metre restart. There will be no try, that we know. And out to the 20.
Oh, you got me again.
It's off Billy backwards. 20 metres off Billy backwards, mate.
But that set, particularly the last couple of tackles, sort of sums up South, doesn't it? They went backwards. You know, they lost all their structure, any sense of what they were doing with the football. And Chris Sandoz just put up a pretty ineffectual kick from 20 metres out when they were right on the goal line. In fact, that set, they didn't make any metres at all.
Yeah, struggling to find any go forward really against the Storm. That's a better set of defence so far from the Rabbitohs.
Bromwich. And a nice offload here. Slater. Danger here for South Sydney right on half-time. Sukamanu, who played on the wing last time against Canberra for a few minutes, is now playing out at right centre there. And is tackled 10 metres away from the line. Last tackle, the kick from Cooper Cronk, and Isaac Luke has it covered. He's not going to get back into the field of play. And Melbourne will have one more set in this half. Well, he threw the ball away, Isaac Luke. That should be time off.
Not sure why the referee has seen it, but here's the kick in behind from Cronk. Luke gets hold of it. A few chases there. There's Cam Smith a shove. They turn something into nothing so easy, the Melbourne Storm, don't they? It was
just saw him throw the ball in, Gary. That's 25 seconds. Could be another 2 tackles they could have got in this set, Melbourne. Norrie. With only 30 seconds to go, means they won't get a complete set, but they may have. Cronk. Now Finch. Into the face there of Ryan Hoffman. Knocked on by Sando. I'm not sure that Ryan Hoffman got a hand to it.
Well, it was thrown into him.
Straight into his face, I thought it was. 1 second left on the clock.
Stay down.
I don't see where the knock-on is there.
No knock-on.
We saw a try scored here 2 weeks ago from a similar incident.
Billy, in, mate. Wait, we'll blow the whistle.
Greg Inglis.
Capable kicking. Fatuli Talanoa didn't know about it. Duffy has taken it. He'll try something here. Matt Duffy. He's tippy-toed down the touchline and kicked it out on the full. So half-time, it is the Melbourne Storm leading South Sydney by 12 points to 4. South Sydney certainly have a job ahead of them. If they win today, they move into the 8. They need a spark. They need something. They're just about ready to come out for the second half. The Melbourne Storm going through their final warm-up exercises before they come back out for the second 40. Well, we've seen the rain, we've seen the sunshine in the first half. No hail, which is good, but the black clouds are coming in again, so wouldn't be surprised if we don't get more rain before the end of the day. As Mick Crocker leads the Bunnies out behind Reggie the Rabbit. They need something here, Souths. They can make the 8 if they win today. They can move into the 8.
This player, a lot hinges on him, Chris Sando, and he was pretty good in the first half. He's trying to get this combination going with Sam Burgess. It's kind of working at times. A couple of good offloads from Burgess. Back to his number 7. I like the idea of him playing wider on that right-hand side, shifting the ball a bit wider and then turning him inside. He's very difficult. He's got good footwork, very difficult to contain. A 40-20 from this bloke wouldn't go down too badly either for the Bunnies. Just kicked a couple. Certainly got a tough job ahead of this extremely important 40 minutes for the Rabbitohs. They came good last week against the Tigers when it was desperately needed in golden point time, extra time, so that's got to give them confidence when it gets tight.
You can't count them out, that's for sure. What after effects are there from that emotional win last week against the West Tigers? They do look a little bit flat in the first 40. South Sydney as the Melbourne Storm make their way back out on AAMI Park.
We saw their Toyota Cup team conjure an amazing come from behind. I think 42-22 they were down at one stage.
With about 15 to go.
With about 15 to go, and they scored some quick points and got up right at the death. The first grade could well do to imitate that.
Still haven't seen Todd Lowry or Jamie Simpson for either side today. So a couple of fresh players up the sleeve of the coaches as Chris Sando gets us underway for the second 40. And Brian Norrie will have first hit up of this second half and hit high by Mick Crocker. His former teammates come running in.
Down, mate.
Not the start Souths were after.
If you're going to give a penalty away, I guess it's on the do it on the first tackle. You're going to give away a full set of 6. Yeah, just up too high. Can't tackle around the chin. So straight away, they're up, heading towards the halfway, the Melbourne Storm.
Norrie will play it again. There's Bromwich. He's 5 into South territory. Finch, Sikamanu. Still going, Sikamanu finally taking the ground. Pettybourne, one of the defenders. Quick play the ball. Here's Cam Smith, short ball, Hoffman. McPherson was around the legs. Over the top was Farrell. Finch. Manu runs there at Sando, who gets some help from a couple of bigger teammates. Mick Crocker, one of those. It's the last tackle. Now Cooper Cronk with the kick for Tuli Talanoa. Duffy off hands, back to Hinchcliffe. He hadn't scored a try all season. He may have 2, he does. Ryan Hinchcliffe with a double, and Melbourne get the start of the second half that all South Sydney fans were dreading.
What about the switcheroo positionally for the Melbourne Storm? Hinchcliffe playing in the centres on the right. Manu came on to replace Chase Stanley when he was injured in the first half. and had to play in the centres. They swapped over at half-time, and he's standing out on the right here and just cleans up the dregs of this Cooper Cronk crossfield kick. Whether it's off a Rabbitoh or a Storm player, it's gone backwards as far as Melbourne Storm are concerned. Talanoa, well, there might have been a good tap back there, I think, from Matt Duffy. 2 tries, one before half-time and one just after. That's a perfect start for the Storm. And not happy campers down there, the Rabbitohs.
So he hadn't scored a try all year in 19 games. He's got 2 in the space of 16 minutes. The South Sydney group of players there look a little bit shell-shocked at the moment. They haven't touched the ball in the second half yet.
Costly penalty given away by Michael Crocker. Very, very aggressive player, and he came in to set the scene early with a big hit on Brian Norrie, first tackle of the second half, but gave away a penalty, gave away metres, and it's turned into a try for the Melbourne Storm.
There is Cam Smith. Hasn't missed yet this afternoon from right on touch. This one doesn't look like missing either. A further 2 points for South Sydney to chase if they want to finish in the top 8 as the rain is back here in Melbourne. The perfect start for the Melbourne Storm to this second 40 minutes, and makes the equation even harder here for Souths. Kicking through the rain, Sando. And here is Norrie. A nice tackle. Sam Burgess just chopped his legs out from underneath him. Norrie was preparing for the collision with Colin Best up top, and Sam Burgess has just chopped his legs out from underneath him.
A lot of players, I don't think players are used to it, are they, to get tackled down low too often? Just look at that. Look at that tackle happening there. There's 2 or 3 players up high, and the low tackler might come in very late in the piece, but not often the first guy arrives and hits you down low.
The rain is torrential now here in Melbourne, really coming down. And this 14-point lead that Melbourne has is worth a lot more in these conditions.
Yeah, it will be tough. Tough for the Rabbitohs if they've got to get to the if they get to the stage where they're trying to play catch-up in the wet. Real difficult. High one from Inglis.
Catch this one, Reece Wesser, in the rain. He does well. That's an outstanding take in dry conditions, let alone the wet. You can see how heavy the rain is. That
is fantastic, isn't it? Reece Wesser, experienced fullback. He's been back to his best for the latter part of this season. That was just a wonderful take. The rain coming down now.
It's very tough to see through these gloomy conditions. It's like a night game here at the moment. It's that dark. There's another Melbourne Storm injury. It's Greg Inglis, very slow to his feet, copped the knock, trying to get back into position. There's Greg Inglis, just down the bottom of your screen. Sando got the kick away, just under pressure from Brian Norrie. And Billy Slater running across field with a little bit of a dummy. Capewell wraps him up. The rain is really hosing down now.
He threw that dummy and beat most players, Billy Slater there. Luke Capewell did really well to stay with him. Must have some pretty good speed.
Bromwich. It wasn't that long ago we were bathed in sunshine.
We probably will be again before the end of the match. We're in Melbourne. Changes pretty quickly.
Norrie, now Proctor creating something here for Hinchcliffe, who was tackled straight away by Talanoa, who'd come in off the wing. Cooper Cronk, the crossfield kick. Here comes Finch. Merritt is back there. There is no way out for Nathan Merritt. A repeat set here for Melbourne.
That's why Cooper Cronk is such a valuable player. He hasn't done anything too amazing this afternoon. Did have a hand in Billy Slater's try in the first half, but just that simple kick there, perfectly weighted. He knows the best thing for his team here, apart from scoring a try, is to get the football back, and he just places that in there beautifully. They can depend on him to do it 9 times out of 10 as well.
Tough when you don't know how the ball's going to skip off the greasy surface either.
Quite Oh, it's tricky now for the fullback and wingers.
And the kickers.
Sure.
Keeping it in the in-goal area. Sikamanu. They are under the pump here, South. They're in trouble. Cameron Smith. Now here's Hoffman. Hoffman held up there in a very, very good tackle right on the goal line. Young Farrell. Norrie thought about keeping the ball alive, but just couldn't get it out there. It was too far away to pass to Cooper Cronk. Behind Billy Slater, picked up by Hoffman. Throws it back. Sando has knocked it on.
Well, as he tackled...
When you first hit the ball, mate, not going south.
Tough one there for Chris Sando, because he touched the football with one hand and tried to then get it in, but he was tackled meanwhile.
I don't know what he's arguing about, because he certainly touched it.
I think he was arguing that he was tackled without getting an opportunity to actually get hold of the football.
Well, once you put your hand on it, you're entitled to the tackle.
You see it from that angle there. Oh, he's just trying to get hold of it, and Manu's got hold of him. Well, correct ruling.
Here's Greg Inglis. Farrell's come up with a very good tackle to force the ball free. Punched out, says the referee. Greg Inglis has got a problem with the right arm. He's just walking back into position with the arm just by his side. No movement at all. Maybe just a little bit of a pinched nerve in the shoulder. Keep it Cronk. Here's Sikamanu. Smith. Norrie, legs chopped from underneath him. He wants to reach out. Brian Norrie. Smith thought about the kick. Dummied. Now here it comes from Finch, and Merritt knocks it dead again. This will be the 5th goal line drop out of the match for South Sydney.
Nathan Merritt's been the man saving the day nearly every time. Read that really well. Smith dummied to kick. Finch did. Here's the defence. That's good work. Dylan Farrell to knock that out. Greg Inglis really tough to stop from there. Finch gets the boot to ball. Merritt scrambling.
Bromwich. They need to keep defending here. South. Todd Lowry getting ready to come on for Melbourne. And there was a mistake. South have come up with it. Just what they needed. Kevin Proctor with the error. That could be a pivotal part of this game. 50 minutes gone. And South's defending back-to-back sets. Finally can relieve some pressure here.
And a nice run there from Isaac Luke. They need to try and work through this Melbourne team with a little bit more ball movement, I suspect. You go one out against Melbourne, that you're playing right into their hands.
Stapleton. There's Todd Lowry getting ready to come on. That will be the 4th interchange they will have made. Burgess. Sam Burgess looking for someone to pass to, but there was no one really in position to take it. And Sando kicking. Can they get a repeat set here, South? Just inside the corner post. Melbourne will get the loosened feed, but it was an attacking kick.
They really needed a repeat, didn't they? They really need to get some continuity with the football here. Just trying to compose themselves. The Rabbitohs there, they've been under the pump by the Storm since the second half began.
Well, he was kicking for Nathan Merritt and Dylan Farrell rather than kicking for the in-goal area, wasn't he?
One tight.
Just a little bit wide. Just bounced, skidded on, as you said before, too, in the wet. The football tends to, it's hard to judge, it does tend to skid on a little bit quicker. And that one took off.
Here is Lowry. 30-metre line just in front of him. Hoffman. Contact there as Eddie Pettybourne comes in with Shannon McPherson. Norrie and Crocker come together in the middle of AAMI Park. Mick Crocker was making sure he was up there to meet Brian Norrie. Here's Billy Slater, the kick from Croc. Sando was there to cover up, and Capewell as well.
There you go. Ask Billy, he knows. He said sorry.
Billy Slater penalised for hitting Chris Sando without the football. Not a huge amount different than the one before.
Yeah, well, he didn't have hold of the football, though, did he, either? So, look, I agree with you there.
Oh, he did tap it. The other one, he tried to catch it. It fell out of his hand. Here's Jamin Lowe. Azatazi, the two starting front rowers back for South Sydney. Can Azatazi inspire them like he did last week against the Tigers? Sando, Capewell behind Best, who did well in these conditions. Even though the rain has stopped, it's still very slippery. Capewell almost through. Crocker was in support, but he couldn't get the ball to him. Sando, now Azatazi. Last tackle here for South Sydney. Chris Sando waits. Little chip over the top. Slater covers it up. Sando still on the ground. There he is.
Well, that's not good news, is it, for South Sydney fans? That is a massive concern. You've already got your 5'8" John Sutton out.
He's all right.
He's holding his chest.
He's all right. He's up. He's okay. Nothing more to come of it. Once again, not able to get a repeat set there. Souths, they've only had one goal line drop at all day, Melbourne. The last two kicks they haven't really looked for a repeat set. Here's Hoffman. Ryan Norrie has come from the field for Melbourne. For this man to come back on, Brett White. 40-metre line just in front of him. Manu. Last tackle here for Melbourne, and it is the halfway line they play it on as Cam Smith kicks to Merritt, who was pleased that he can pick the football up in the field of play.
Good kick there, isn't it? Everyone on side, the chase there. And Cameron Smith kicks the football out of dummy half. Melbourne great at this aspect of the game.
Colin Best down the touchline. He needs to stay in. He keeps the ball alive, and Melbourne are going to come up with it. Billy Slater from broken field play. He's tackled 30 metres out from the line. Lowry. Now White has knocked it on. Well, Melbourne's certainly giving South Sydney some opportunities here. Farrell has barely touched it today after 3 tries on debut. Merritt. It's like Gary, they're trying to go the big play every set to score a try rather than do what Melbourne was doing earlier and look for the repeat set to build the pressure.
Well, if they don't build some pressure pretty soon, they will be in that situation. That'll help. That'll help with some metres upfield. They really need to get some time, camp in Melbourne's 20-metre zone, come up with a repeat set. This Melbourne team, on the back of an ordinary game last week, well and truly outplayed by the Sea Eagles. Turned things around somewhat. But as you said, Mark, they have made enough mistakes. 10 errors they've made. So they've given some opportunities to the Rabbitohs, but apart from that first 5 minutes, they haven't really looked like scoring.
Sando, Capewell, Pettybourne, straight and hard, good tackle. Brett Finch. Sando, Now Crocker trying to back his way through a hole. Cooper Cronk desperately calling for troops. They go the other way though. Sando, here's a chase. Merritt, did he get there? No. Whose hands? Goal line dropout. Saved. Only just saved by Dane Nielsen.
He's about 6 inches taller, I reckon, Dane Nielsen, or 3 or 4 than Nathan Merritt. Is probably what got him there first. Have a look at Merritt flying through here. Good effort, Nielsen. That's what they needed, the Bunnies. They were short. They were shot on the Rabbitohs left if they'd gone that way. Melbourne Storm. Still, great play there, Chris Sando.
This is what the Rabbitohs are after, the repeat set. Can they make the most of it though? As Atazi plays it. Now here is Burgess. The ball at the back, Capewell. Crocker now. Backing his way up towards the 10-metre line. Capewell. Sando. Pettyborn with him. Once again, Finch is waiting for him. Stripped there by Inglis. There was a strip, Greg Inglis.
Hand in there, mate. There, sure. Wait.
Can you wait till I get back? Are you kidding?
Well, the referee said yes.
Is he kidding? Let him take the quick tap and get an advantage.
A couple of metres away from the line. Jamin Lowe will play it. As Atazi, if he offloads to Capewell, they score. What a great tackle, Hinchcliffe. Thought they were over for all money there, South. Sando, Pettyborn, another great tackle. Greg Inglis. Sando. Now here's Dylan Farrell one-on-one. He thought about the Gidley flick to Merritt. The tackle was made by Nielsen. Sando kicking. Burgess is there. Offhand, Slater's lost it. First mistake, South Sydney.
Well, that's better. They put a lot more pressure on there, the Bunnies, didn't they? And it was only a couple of fantastic tackles by Inglis, he's carrying a sore shoulder. Great tackles out there on Pettyborn. When are they going to put the ball behind Pettyborn? Just have a look at it here. Wesser out the back. Inglis coming in. The ball out the back to Wesser. It's a good chance. Still good tackle, Inglis. And this is the last play. Ruled to have come off the Bunnies. Melbourne survive. Well, that's more like it from South Sydney in the last couple of sets.
Time starting to run out though. 21 minutes remaining. Still enough time for South Sydney to win the game. No question about that. But once you start looking up at the clock and it's under 20 to go, it's a different mindset. 2 tackles left in the set here for Melbourne. Cam Smith, here's White. Last tackle just over the halfway line. He gets up limping, Brett White. Cooper Cronk. Now here's Hinchcliffe kicking. Reece Wesser, will he let it go over the touchline? He couldn't, he had to play at it. A terrific kick there by Ryan Hinchcliffe.
Well, it must have been close to that touchline, the crowd over that side. Yelling some sort of disapproval. They thought he had his foot on the line, I'm not sure.
Well, they've already used up 3 tackles here, South, and they're still 10 out from their own line. Crocker.
Isn't that a nice kick? That kick block for the Storm by Hinchcliffe on the passes down to the right. So they took the winger out of the game. Great chase. Not a bad one there. Sando.
Bathed in sunshine now, Billy Slater. Jamie Simpson's come on for South Sydney for his first bit of football this afternoon. Nick Crocker is the man that's come off. Brett White cops one from Tyrrell. And he's come back into the fray as well. And Cam Smith with a mistake. You don't see that too often out of acting half.
Mate, the ball hit the ground, mate, then you flicked it back.
Once again, Melbourne just giving South Sydney a little bit of encouragement.
You right, Jamesy?
You can't blame the rain this time. Imagine the jerseys are slippery, the ground is as well, but the sun is out here at AAMI Park.
Come on.
10 minutes ago, it was coming down in bucket loads. What they got? They're going to go to the short side here, the Rabbitohs, with Colin Best.
Here is Simpson, fresh player on the field, one of the smaller players in the field, having a hit up and Sigamanu monstering him to the ground. Azatazi. They've had nothing to show for their efforts in the second half. South, their only points coming after 6 minutes. So it's just under an hour since they last scored a try. Sando. Burgess. Hit a solid tackle by Lowry. Pops the ball out the back to Capewell. The fans thought it went forward. The referees disagree. Sando kicking into the in-goal area. That's a good kick from Chris Sando. Goal line dropout, that's what they're after. Let's head down to the touchline. Matt Adamson, the Bunnies, they're knocking, but they're not getting through yet.
Yeah, certainly, Mark. There's just not enough emphasis on their attacking play. I'd like to just see Chris Sando run a little bit more with the ball, be more direct and go at him. Of course, the big problem for Melbourne at the moment is they've lost 2 players, Chase Stanley and Aiden Tolman. They're in the dressing rooms, won't be back today. So their 2 big front rows are being rotated at the moment. They're coming off, getting on the bikes here for about 5 minutes on the sideline and then going back on. Outstanding work from Ryan Hinchcliffe, who's normally a number 9. He's out there playing in that right centre.
Here's Azatazi. So another opportunity here for South. They're starting to mount the pressure, but where's the try going to come from? Can Sam Burgess create something? Will Chris Sando give us a little bit of magic? Reece Wesser in game 200. Or Nathan Merritt, who's looking for his century of tries. There is Best. Melbourne defence sliding and doing well again. Burgess. 4 Melbourne Storm defenders there.
Give Reece Wesser a chance out on the right here. They're a bit short on numbers, Melbourne.
Sando, here is Reece Wesser. Now Farrell for the corner, Merritt. He cuts away. He can score a try. Nathan Merritt. In fact, he's got 99 of them now. And the Bunnies are back in it. They're not done with yet. Reece Wesser started it, and Nathan Merritt, didn't he have some work to do?
He sure did. Some good work around the ruck there from the Bunnies that kept plenty of defenders in tight. Melbourne ran out of numbers. They were coming across, and Nathan Merritt, well, that's why he's almost at the 100 try mark. He's a fantastic finisher. Plenty of calls over the years for him to play for the New South Wales State of Origin team. You can see why he wouldn't be out of place. What a great finisher he is. A lot of work there, Mick Crocker. He knows how much effort's gone into the Bunnies getting back into this match, and they're not too far away. Some good signs there.
Here is Chris Sando. His first kick was pretty awful. Can he strike this one better? It's coming around, it's coming around, and it's the extra 2 points that South was so desperately after. It's still 8 points the difference, but they're on their way back, Matt Adamson.
Yeah, certainly, but I certainly think it's a Melbourne Storm's error here defensively. You see Brett Finch there past the post, then you see Greg Inglis, and then you see Nielsen. Only 3 past the post from a shift on that part of the field. For any coaches out there from our coach cam angle, that is poor reading in defence. You need 4 past the post, and the Melbourne Storm will handle that without any problem at all.
Have you just come up with that, Matt? Is that you're going to trademark that coach cam?
Mate, the coach cam is mine to stay forever. It's an outstanding little bit of enterprise here from Fox Sports.
Yeah, good. Here's the kick from Cam Smith. And South Sydney back to within 8. 14 minutes to go.
It does give you a great view of why there was space out there and why it opened up for the Rabbitohs, but they wouldn't have had the numbers on that side of the field unless they did some great work around the play the ball area. Sam Burgess, here he is now with the football. A great hit up and offload that he had in that set that just kept numbers in around the play the ball on their own line too. It makes it harder to adjust in defence.
Simpson will play it just shy of the halfway. Here is Luke. That's what it looks like from behind Matty Adamson's coach cam. And here is the kick now coming over the top. The bounce important. It's a bounce for Melbourne. Nielsen had it. Inglis.
No sign there of that sore right shoulder. Oh,
there's a bit there.
He's not real good.
Well, he knows that he can't really go off because they're down to 2, as Matt mentioned. Aidan Tolman and Chase Stanley both gone with injury.
That's when the coach would be asking him to tough it out.
Wesser. With the dummy, Cooper Cronk stood his ground. Got some help from Ryan Hinchcliffe.
Dummy, that dummy filled me. Didn't fill Cooper Cronk. I thought it was going to Delanoa.
Here he is for Tulik. Low. Norrie to put a shot on him. Tyrrell towards the halfway line. 2 tackles left in the set. Burgess. Well, the crowd called for that. We're right in line with it. I'm not sure where Steve Tedrow-Lyons got a call from, but I don't think it was forward.
They got a call from someone in the crowd. It wasn't forward. I don't think it was forward. I think it was flat.
It might have floated forward.
And I said it in the first half. If you're the away team, you're going to cop more of these against you. You're the home team. No one says a word. The crowd doesn't let on, and you get away with it. But have a look at this. See what you think. Well, I think it's pretty flat out of the hands of Luke.
None of the players from Melbourne reacted at all. You know, normally the opposition will someone will put their hand in the air or make some sort of a call.
Yep.
That's a big call too against Souths.
Out.
Nielsen. Cam Smith with a hit up. That's why Cam Smith is a dummy half most of the time, not being one of the front rowers.
He's a hit back forward. 10 metres towards his own try line there.
Inglis almost lost that. He did. He lost it into the South player.
You got it back.
They've been consistent with this ruling, and they've got it right. If it has come out of Inglis's hands and hit a Rabbitohs player, then at that point it's a knock-on before he gathers it.
Back, boys.
Perhaps a bit of justice done there. We're on about the same position of the field where the Isaac Luke pass was ruled forward.
It's funny how things turn around, don't they?
Yeah, not always.
Capewell straight through. Slater makes a great tackle. Capewell was looking for a double and almost got there. Here's Colin Best towards the touchline. Melbourne trying to force him over that line. South Sydney, can they do it 2 weeks in a row? Slowish play the ball though. Luke, now Sando. Here's Reece Wesser again. Nathan Merritt keeps it alive back to Reece Wesser. Can you believe that?
How did he do that, Nathan Merritt? A better pass, he was probably going to score. Somehow he juggled it and kept it in.
Here's Sando trying to take them on the dummy. It is the last tackle. So pressure on Capewell here. They're going to run it. Colin Best, Merritt on his inside. Nathan Merritt has career try 100. He gets his century.
Look, he got that grounding out in the first part there, mate.
I think he may have, and South may be back within 4.
Well, it's penciled in on my score sheet.
He went from the right side to the left. They ran it on the last tackle. Oh, did he? I don't know.
I think I'll be putting a line through that one now. I think he might be short. Well, Billy Slater's the man
Again.
there.
Billy Slater again.
It's tough to see from there.
Phil Cooley's our video referee. Will we see benefit of the doubt?
I think it's short.
Is it short, but can you definitively say that?
Not at that angle, you can't.
So what would your ruling be? I think it's hit the ground, but has it hit the ground in the in-goal area?
Well, we're probably going to tell here if it's short or not, unless we're obscured. Oh, well, you can't tell again. The point of the football may have touched a bit of white line.
Is it benefit of the doubt? I think the ball hit the ground.
It touches the ground.
And I think that other shot, I think the other shot showed him in the in-goal area. So I'm going to go try benefit of the doubt.
Well,
and I was wrong all last weekend.
I reckon that's short. But this might be a better angle for us. And I still think that's short of the line.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to go try benefit of the doubt. Last week I went no try both times. See, this one here I think shows in the in-goal area there.
Oh, that's a better angle, isn't it? From a Rabbitohs point of view.
So I'm thinking
he might have flicked the line.
I'm thinking benefit of the doubt try. It's an important call from Phil Cooley for the game and for that man to get career try 100. Here's the decision. Try, benefit of the doubt. Nathan Merritt gets a century.
And what a fantastic effort it was. It should have been a mistake on the other side of the field. A tough pass he caught from Reece Westhouse. Somehow he kept it in play. And then he's backed up the next play, far side. His team's desperate. Needs to get involved. Backs up on the inside. And he's scored a try. The try that's got the Rabbitohs still in the hunt for the finals. And he's number 100 for himself in the NRL. It's not the prettiest try he'll ever score, but it's very important.
Here's Chris Sando. 10 metres in from the far touchline. We've got a finish and a half again involving South Sydney. There is Sando. The Borough is on their feet here in Melbourne. There is 2 points the difference as we head down to the touchline. Matt Adamson.
Yeah, sorry, I can't be in favour of that ruling. I think that's not a try in any way, shape or form. The benefit of the doubt there goes to Billy Slater for an outstanding defensive effort he's come up with to try and save that try. I can't see where you can say he's actually got that ball across the line. For me, benefit of the doubt should go to the defending team because it's that person who has to put in the effort to save the try.
I don't disagree with the theory, but they're told that the benefit of the doubt goes to the attacking side.
Yeah, I disagree with you, Matt Adamson. Sorry.
I don't disagree with Matty's theory there that defence has to work hard as well, and Billy Slater deserves some credit there. But I disagree. I thought it did touch the line.
Well, it touched the ground, we know that, and you could not see that it didn't make it into the in-goal area. So they had to get... That was the ruling. They got the ruling correct.
There is also a rule in the rule book that says you cannot not allow to try just because you don't see the ball grounded.
Right.
Jamin Lowe.
What rule's that? Got a number for me?
7.5 to go. 40-20 chance here for Sando. Billy Slater's on the bike. And he got there comfortably in the end. He saw there was trouble and he just accelerated. Nielsen. Somehow Souths have lifted in the last 20 minutes to get themselves to within 2 on the back of some Melbourne mistakes and a little bit more energy. More repeat sets.
Don't give away a penalty here, Roy.
Bromwich. Penalty inside the 10.
Hold and go.
Jamie Simpson. That is a big call. And they were in front of him.
He just left a bit early.
Let's try and throw some names out for the boys quickly.
You are allowed to use their
boys,
numbers, Steve.
Jamie.
You don't have to know their names. They do all have numbers. Norrie, good tackle. Sam Burgess trying to create something there. Smith. White. 30 metres away from the line. Now here is Smith. Cooper Cronk. Proctor. And the South Sydney defence is there again. 3 tackles left in this set. Smith across field. Now Finch. Finch finds Slater. Here's Inglis. Inglis through the tackle of Farrell, who chopped his legs out, and Merritt tidied up. A metre out from the line, Nielsen. Cooper Cronk under pressure gets it to Norrie, who bounced away from Jamin Lowe, who came again. It's the last tackle. Can Melbourne seal it here? Intercepted, I should say, by Chris Sando. Billy Slater was flying.
A couple of Storm players flying through there. Chris Sando saved the day again. Magnificent effort. You've got to give a big rap to Dylan Farrell. That tackle on Greg Inglis was... He's almost unstoppable there, Inglis. And he would have backed himself every day of the week in that position. A great low tackle, Dylan Farrell saved the day for the Bunnies, and they're still in it. Plenty of work to do to get up the other end.
Yeah, they're at the wrong end of the field. That's the main thing at the moment. Isaac Luke, Chris Sando, now Tyrrell. As they string a few passes together, it's the last here. Will they look for a 40-20? Chris Sando under pressure from Lowry. He's inside the 40. It skips away from Slater, skips away from the touchline. Can someone come up with a big tackle to force the error? Here for South. Slater thought about passing it, and Capewell comes up with a very good tackle. These Melbourne forwards who have been on a rotation because there's 2 players injured. They're really struggling to get back on side. Luke Capewell has got cramp. He can't get back for South defensively. If Melbourne was able to go to their right, they would catch South Sydney out. Cam Smith with the offload from Nielsen.
Making easy metres, Melbourne. Nielsen for his second touch of this set. And getting into a good field position pretty early. Melbourne for a kick.
And they're just about spent here. South. Have they got anything left in the tank? Billy Slater through Burgess. Can't get away from Best. It's the last tackle. Quick play the ball. Cooper Cronk looking for the touchline and finds it. South will now have to run to the scrum. There's players sucking in the big ones everywhere. There's Luke Capewell up the top of your screen with cramp. We've got Billy Slater on his haunches. We've got Dane Nielsen on his haunches. Sam Burgess is playing at hooker. So 3 minutes to go. You would think South may get 2 sets.
They'll get a couple of sets at least so they can hold on to the football, the Bunnies.
They're at the wrong end of the field. Talanoa.
Need some good work out of dummy half here. Get their quick men in there.
Reece Wessar got through the tackle of Bromwich. Tidied up by Finch. Now here's Farrell down the short side. Farrell, he had Merritt with him on the outside unmarked, but couldn't get it to him. Good play by the youngster in just his second first-grade game. Now Luke, Sando with the juggle. Proctor with the tackle. Jamie Simpson off, Mick Crocker coming on. Here's Burgess. He needs to hang on to it there with bodies all around him. All the players look at the referee. It's the last tackle. The high kick coming surely from Sando. This is a tester here for Nielsen. Here comes Farrell. Nielsen does very well. No South Sydney player there really putting too much pressure on him. He got some good protection from Greg Inglis.
He's been solid there. He made one error, glaring error in the first half, Dane Nielsen, but really has been solid at the back there, cleaning up kicks, defending well. diffuse that one easily.
Melbourne would love a penalty here, wouldn't they?
No real pressure there from the Bunnies, was there, on the end of that kick?
They will get one more set. 2 tackles left here for Melbourne. Now it's the last tackle.
Put some pressure on this kick.
Well, Cooper Cronk will look for a 40-20, you would think. But it's not near the touchline. Wesser pulls Tulanoa out of it. Reece Wesser in game 200 is hit by the man that kicked it. Cooper Cronk has nailed Reece Wesser.
They're thinking about how he was going to set Talanoa up, Reece Wesser, but get his own run in order.
Well, this is it for Souths. They're still alive if they lose, but if they win, they're in the 8. And then their own fate is in their own hands. Simpson, that went forward. That was a knock-on, surely. The referee said no. That was very fortunate. Crocker, 2 tackles left.
Got to go wide, got to go left.
Well, Colin Best can score a try. Nathan Merritt, where is he? Tyrrell, they've gone away from their try scorers. Tyrrell's lost it. Penalty. Stripped. Time is running out though for South. They're 2 behind. They're too far away for a shot at penalty goal, you'd think. Chris Sando takes the quick tap. Well, that's wasted about 5 seconds, all that fiddling around, and about 20 metres.
Well, they weren't allowed to take the tap any quicker.
Well, they didn't know what they wanted to do. Here's Sando. Now it comes to Merritt. Merritt's moved in to the 5'8" position with Capewell coming from the field with Cramp. Here's the siren going. Sando, can they do it? 2 weeks in a row, South Sydney. Here goes Best. Talanoa down the touchline. He kicks, but there's no one there. It's over the dead ball line, and Melbourne has hung on to win a NRL Sunday thriller by 18 points to 16.
They just let them run too late, the Bunnies. What a great effort it was, trying to come back. They couldn't get on the scoreboard in the second half until the 63rd minute, but they gave it everything. The Storm certainly know they've been in a game of rugby league.
Well, you look back at the games that Souths have lost this year by just a few points, and they could be in the top 4.
They could, but there's some self-belief there. They're down on troops at the moment, the Bunnies, but they still nearly pulled that one out of the hat. Really thought they were a chance of doing it. Repeating last week's Golden Point win, that great win over the Tigers. It wasn't to be today. They gave it a shot.
They got very close, South, but not close enough. Talanoa with the kick, but there was just no one in support. They'd run out of numbers, Souths. And it was that flat 30 minutes, 25 minutes in the first half, maybe the 10 minutes after half-time too, that have cost Souths dearly today. Of course, they've got so many players that are out. Stewart, Geddes, Ross, Taylor, Falloon, Sutton, Lowe, Clark. Let's get down to the touchline. Here's Matt Adamson.
Yeah, I'm here with Brett Fincher, mate. After a disappointing performance last week and a disastrous loss, that must be rewarding.
Yeah, certainly, mate. We spoke about, even though there's not much to play for, there's certainly 4 games left and there's plenty of guys leaving, and it's been a tough year for everyone. So to hang on like we did there and South kept coming was very pleasing.
Obviously, we were losing 2 players before half-time. Very difficult in the second half. And, mate, we look at your finger. What is going on there, Finchie?
I don't know what's going on, mate, but might take the attention off the nose for a few minutes, so it might help me.
The courage of your teammates today to stick out that second half when you had 2 front rowers on that sideline rotating on a 5-minute basis after you lost 2 players before half-time. That's gutsy.
Yeah, mate, especially Hinchy and Sika Manu had to play in the centres on Colin Best, which was a tremendous effort as well. So, you know, I'm pretty sure Craig Bellamy will be happy with that.
I'm sure he will. You're going to get that finger fixed, mate. We appreciate your time. Chris Sando, unfortunately, you couldn't do it 2 weeks in a row, but came very close.
Yeah, mate, the boys dug in there and had a real dig there today, but come up with a few errors, you know, so that cost us in the end there. But yeah, hopefully get back on the field.
Did you feel? Sorry, mate. Did you feel your forwards were a little bit flat there in the first half?
Yeah, mate. So I'll take a bit of credit for that, not directing them a bit there. But yeah, mate. Like I said before, they stuck in there and have a real go.
What do you think Johnny Lang will say? Where do you go from here? Is the season over for the Bunnies?
Nah, mate. I think we're going to turn up next week and play really well. So can't wait.
Go and join your teammates. Chris, thanks for your time.
Rosendo there. They don't move into the 8 South, but they are still alive in this season.